Good morning, everybody. So, out for another hike in the beautiful high desert here. Starting to warm up, so I think it'll be a nice day. Gonna be maybe 40-45 degrees a high, so perfect for hiking. So we're gonna head up this canyon here and see what cool stuff we can find. I've got my my dog with me again, trying to get him back in shape. So it won't be a super long hike, but we'll see what we find up here. It's kind of a cool spot. It's got a little creek up it. I'm sure it'll probably be frozen solid today, but I'll see what we can find up here. We'll go from there. So here's the creek. Not frozen solid, actually a lot more water than I was expecting. We did have a lot of rain last couple weeks, so I think it's just a lot of the runoff. So this will run usually, can't help but get in the water even though it's freezing cold. But so this will usually run maybe 6-8 months out of the year. If it's a dry year, even less, but most part in the summer, hot months, this will be, you have to hike up a few miles up the canyon to find the water. It usually doesn't come down this far, but these last couple of years have been pretty good years, so the water's almost made it all the way down to the dam, which is, I don't know, half a mile that way before it disappears. But it's crazy here when if we get really heavy rains or a heavy snow and then rain on top of it. I've seen this canyon have water from one side to the other, completely flooded like a major river, and then you come back in 2 weeks and it's back to this. It's amazing how much water gets funneled into this canyon, and it's a beautiful spot though. I've seen a lot of deer prints, or deer track, but haven't seen any deer. I'll see. He hasn't seen deer yet, so I'll be curious to see how he reacts. But I just looked over here and it looks like there's an old structure. I haven't seen this one before. I usually come up here on dirt bike or side by side, so you kind of miss the little things like this as you're cruising by at 30 miles an hour, trying not to crash. But this was a big time canyon back in the day for mining and logging, so there's little camps and structures all up and down this thing. I found quite a few farther up, but there was a bunch of logging camps up here for the mines, so we'll probably see some of those today, but I'm not sure what this would have been. I'm not sure what this would have been. Doesn't look like a house structure. Might have been an old kiln or some kind of thing like that. Very thick walls. It's over 3 feet. Could have been mine related because there is a mine right there. But yeah, pretty cool. I haven't seen that one before. And a lot of the time I come up here, it's summer, so leaves are out, everything's grown up, because this thing will just be covered in weeds and grass in the spring and summer. So that's kind of cool. So onwards and upwards, and I'll see what we find up here. So getting up a little farther, starting to get a little more ice showing. You can see here, a testament to how high the floods get through here is all this pile of debris here. I mean, that's taller than I am. That's about 7 feet, so you can see how high the water had to be to push all that right there. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how he likes that, going in that freezing cold water. He's a water dog. So we came from down that way. So up here, this is one of their logging camps and stable pen areas for the horses and the oxes and the cows. I've seen pictures of it. I'll see if I can find them. I don't remember where I've seen them, but there's all kinds of structures around here. You can still see a bunch of rock walls all over the place. And they're in squares, so I think they were holding pens for their animals. But if you metal detect up here, you'll find all kinds of horseshoes and ox shoes, miscellaneous bottles and cans, and it's kind of a popular spot for people to camp out now too, because you can still get to it by road here. The creek is just down there. But yeah, it's kind of a amazing thing up here. When you look back at it now, I mean, it just seems like desolate nothing so far away. But back then, this was a lot of guys were working up here, because I heard as many as 20 to 30 teams of ox and horse pulling wagons out of here of lumber for the kilns, the mines, and I'm sure some firewood for the homes. But if you look back at the old pictures of especially this canyon, there isn't one tree on any of the mountains here. Back in the day, they cut down every single tree. But it's crazy now if you look at it. I mean, there are trees everywhere. So it's amazing, like 100 years, how far it's come back. Pretty cool spot though. So I've been up this canyon many times, but usually on dirt bikes, so I haven't been too much off the road. But I know I've been hiking up the canyons on the other side of here. Found a ton of old, ruins and whatnot. And then this canyon here has a ton of them too. I've seen closer to the road, but I just happened to be walking off to the side, and I saw this old structure here. So this is usually what all of them look like out here. They do about 3-4 feet of rock, and then they would have a canvas top, sometimes wood, but wood was hard to come by up here. So for the most part, it was just a canvas top. That's why you only see foundations like this and not much else. But that would have been the fireplace. It's pretty well caved in, but you can see it used to be a little pin there. And the 4 walls here, you can still kind of see it stacked out back here by the fireplace. But yeah, it's amazing how many of these little places you find up here. I can see another one over there. There's like a little grassy pasture area there. So it's probably any of the wider spots that are flat like this, it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to find an old structure, because there wasn't a lot of places you could build that were away from the wash, because this thing floods constantly. So the old timers knew that, so they built up off the floor there because they knew it would flood out every year. But even over here, you can kind of see a little rock wall by that grass there. That's all rose bushes. I don't want to go through that mess. Yeah, and up here there is I haven't been to it, but I've seen it off the road going by on the dirt bike. There's kind of a rock, looked like a rock archway. So that's kind of what I'm heading towards. I don't remember exactly where it's at. So I'm going to keep heading up this way till I find it, hopefully. And then if it gets too late or my dog starts pooping out, I'll head back before I hit it. But I think it's not too far up the road here, maybe a mile or two. So I'll head up there and see what I can find. So we've just been walking up from that structure we found is down there in that little pasture, and it started right there. But you can see they built this rock wall. So this was probably the main logging road, was somewhere right in here. Could have been on that side or this side. But yeah, you can see it. And sometimes you'll find these walls and they'll go on for miles, which is amazing, the amount of work, because that is a lot of rocks to move. And those are some pretty big boulders in there too. So I'm always amazed at the work the old timers did back in the day out here. Of course, I mean, you didn't have TikTok and YouTube to waste your time on, so they pretty much worked nonstop. And here you can see this is the main road for the 4x, dirt bikes and whatnot. So this was probably the original old road, and that was the wall to keep that hill from washing down into their path. And I know I've seen some caves up here too, so if I happen to cross any of those, I'm gonna definitely hit those, because I can never pass those up if I see them. But it's just that kind of area with the rock outcroppings that you can see the potential for that. And I know I've seen some up there, but we'll see if we get up that far today. So, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to make it up to that cave I saw or the arch. My boy here, my doggo, he's telling me he's done. So he's an older boy, so I'm not going to push him to go any further. This will definitely be a part one. I'll probably do part two next weekend. I can get out here if the weather holds out. So yeah, unfortunately, but I don't want him to be all hurting tomorrow, so we're gonna head back and go from there. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.